Hey guys, today we have quite a pile of stuff right here that we are gonna take a look and we're gonna talk about thermometers and how they are not something you should 100% rely on because they're not always as accurate as you might think or the makers might even want you to think sometimes. And today we're gonna put them all to test on the same place, same time, and the contenders are from all walks of life. We have one of the baby ones, and actually, yes, it works, and you can put on different modes. You can put it on room temperature mode, that you can put it on. Okay, this one says 89.0, and the baby monitor said 87.9. Okay, let's try the other meter. Okay, and put it on Fahrenheit. 87.4 this one, so they're kind of closer at this point. 87.9 this one right here, and this one here, I'm not sure if that's accurate to measure this one outside without touching my body, and it says low for some reason. I'm not sure if you can see it on this camera or this other camera somewhere there, but it says L, and if we cannot measure with it, well, it is just what it is. So the other one is the good old Mercury. I think they used to be called, now I'm not sure. As you see, there's a red line, and if some of you are too young to know this, how to read these ones, it's very simple actually. As you see, there's a red line that you can see from a certain angle, not from all angles. As you see, if I twist it the other way, you don't. And this line goes up and down. Right now it's 80, around 90, probably 91. And in centigrades is around 34 would be right there, 33. So that's how you read this one. And this one, it says around, I would put it 90 sharp right there. Let me put it towards myself. Yep, it looks like it's 90 sharp. And let's put this on the side. And now after that one, this one has a reading of 87.6. So we have this one and this one agreeing on the temperature. Let me put them next to each other right there. 87.6. This one is stuck and it's sticking to its thought of 89.2. Good. I'm okay with that as long as they are expressing their opinion. Now this one is in centigrades or Celsius. It shows 27 right now, but it should go either up or down. I'm gonna leave the lead or the sensor of the thermometer outside, just like here, just like that, in the open air. And just so you can see it on the other camera right here, that's how this one measures, and somehow wants to flip up to 30 when it likes so, and if it does so, that's I'm okay with it. So now we have one more here that is agreeing with these two, and it's the thermometer for the central AC. It says 87. It doesn't give the small increments after the 87, but usually they're meaningless anyway for real life. These two are 87.6, 87.8, 87. We're just gonna call it as what it says. And this baby one here said 88.4, this one. Up and down, it's on the indoor temperature measurement, not just the forehead. As you see right here, let me show it to the other camera. If the other camera wants to see it, 88.4. Okay, so we are good so far. This other one, 89.2, still sticking to that same exact temperature that was before, 89.4. So this one still remaining at 90. Let me just show it to the camera right there. It's right at 90. Let me show it on this camera too. Maybe you guys can see it better here. Yep, it's around, yeah, I would say 89.9 if I were to put numbers, but yeah, it's pretty much 90. So what am I getting out of this one? Measuring all these meters and all this good stuff, right? Well, not really anywhere in particular to scare you or make you disbelieve anything or believe something else or whatever. What I'm doing here, as you see, this one flipped to 88, and yes, if you're wondering, I have turned off the AC because I have this one here. So how does it work without it? So where I'm going with this one, there's a reason to my madness, is that don't rely on the weather, whether it's on TV, whether it's on the, I don't know, news or your phone or whatnot, to get an exact 100% measurement, because that's not how temperatures always work. They fluctuate, they change, they move depending on location, depending on device, and depending on the time of the year, time of the day, and even down to the second, sometimes they can switch. So some of the devices are closer to each other, by the way. This one and this one, for example, including this one, are closer to each other. This one, I think it's a little bit colder, if I'm not wrong, but I could be wrong. I'm not very familiar with Celsius, but I will probably convert it and put it after I make or finish making this video. Now, this one, for example, makes you think that you should run for the hills because it's almost 90. Together with this one that goes 90 as well, and you think, whoa, how am I even here? How am I even alive and not getting a heat stroke? Well, heat strokes, they're a dangerous thing, don't get me wrong, but you have to make sure that you are getting a good reading. So now you have to measure this one together with the humidity. Now, not all these machines measure humidity that great either. Let me show you another machine real quick. So, for example, this other machine combines what's outside and what's in this room right now without AC and without any fans on. So what's going on? This one is calculating the temperature out, 78, with the humidity, which is 74, and this one they both agree actually, and came to conclusion that the temperature inside here is 85. Now this will be on the rise, and you will see that in a minute. I'm gonna put it right here. So all these temperature measuring devices will have a chance to increase or decrease, even though I know the former is gonna happen because there's no AC on right now, and we will see which one will get to any alarming numbers. And we are back at it. I left them quite a few minutes, just enough time to update. This one is, just taking a nap. I'm not sure if this one ever got to the real temperatures. As you see, let me see if this thing works. Yes, it works. So if I grab it like that, it will increase the numbers. And if I let it go, it will go back to 27, which I do not think 27 is equal to 88. But as I said, I will put it on the editor later. Now, what do we see here? This one is pretty much borderline 90, still just like before. The next one that's 90 is this one right here. Let me see if you guys can see it right there. That is still 90. And these two are just on the higher side of the things. Okay, the tape can go away now. Let me see the baby one. And the baby one is 89. Just a little bit on the higher side. These two are kind of higher, high, lower right there. This is the lowest, but it's on the same table, same room, same material, same exact air. This one is 88.3, this one 88.7, which, I know it sounds like it doesn't really matter, and a lot of times I say those small increments don't matter, but heavens forbid you're in a situation that heat stroke matters, that 0.7 is closer to 89 than 88, and that makes a lot of difference. Believe me, I'm not a doctor. Ask doctors what they tell you if that matters, especially when it comes to your body or even in a car engine. And this one remained 88 the entire time, as we see here. It is 88. This one, 88. So these two, I would call them kind of close to each other because I don't have a better way to put them, because it's 88, 88. So now this one is 88.3. What is the final word on this whole kind of test that we did today? Well, the final word would be that in order to get an accurate reading, it's not gonna be just checking in your phone or checking your weather channel. If you want it to be accurate at your house, the only way would be the stations. They sell kits sometimes. They're quite expensive. They can get up to $1,000. The good ones that have real measures, from calculating with humidity, the distance from the ground, because always temperatures on the ground are actually higher than temperatures 6 feet above ground, and so on. So I've seen a lot of times on TV that's huge misinformation or disinformation, whatever they call it these days. If you measure the temperatures on the ground versus 6 feet over the ground, you're kind of lying right there. That is not how you measure temperatures. Temperatures for us as humans are 6 feet above ground. That is, or 2 meters if you're in Europe or other countries, for accurate measurement for it to matter to our lives. Otherwise, the ground measure is mostly for scientific reasons, and it kind of stops there. And every time, whenever you are watching on TV a certain temperature, let's say they say 150 degrees in Texas, you gotta ask how far from the ground, what air was around, what was the air pressure, what was the wind pressure or the wind speed, and what was the humidity, because it is not the same. You can actually stay in a room that's 95 degrees but with humidity under 40%. Yes, it's hot, but it's good and doable. Now, 95 degrees, same 95 degrees with 70 or 80 or 90% humidity, now that will kill you. Humidity will actually make you weaker, will make you feel like you want to sleep, and that is a fatal mistake that you would do, falling asleep under that heat. This humidity is making your body think that, oh, you need to sleep now. That would be probably your last sleep. Heaven forbid again. Don't do it. Regarding these devices that sometimes I call machines, I'm used with machines, so just go with me here. They're not all the same. The build is not all the same. The reading is not all the same. And how they are programmed inside the chips is not the same. So you would take kind of an approximate of all these, and I would safely say that in this room, probably the temperature is 88.4, 88.5 to be completely accurate. And the reason why it would be accurate is that I'm taking the readings from all these devices and coming up with a number based on humidity, based on the wind speed that is none here, based on other factors. If I have a furnace, if I have bright lights that emit radiation, the radiant heat is a real thing, and so on and so forth. Plus, another one with a TV and internet temperature predictions and readings. It will say, for example, let's say it's 88 here. It will say, let's say in my area outside is supposed to be 95. That is not totally accurate because the weather station does not have a module to measure the temperature in your backyard. So your backyard will be different. Depends where their temperature measuring device is too. If it's under a tree, will be lower. If it's on top of the roof, it will be higher because now the roof is radiating that heat from the sun hits the roof hits it again. So now this device that's on top here will be hit from above and from below. So that is not a good reading either. Best readings are 6 feet above ground, 0 feet on the ground, and 12 feet above ground. Between those three, then you make calculations and you calculate the humidity and all that stuff that I just said with the wind and all that. Then you come to a conclusion on approximate numbers. Temperature reading, I don't care if you're the best scientist on planet Earth, is always about calculations and approximations. There's no such thing as 100% temperature readings in real life unless if you're in a vacuum tube in a lab with extreme precision measuring devices. Otherwise, all you see here are approximations. Yes, they're very close. Yes, the technology has gone to a point that they're quite reliable for most part, but you can always triple and quadruple measure the temperatures before you make a decision that, oh yeah, it is 88.3. Because it's not. This one says 88.9. This one says 90.3. This other one says 89.4. This one says 88.8. This one 89. This one 28. This one is still at 90. As you see right here, let me just flip it towards you. This one is still 90. So as you see, There's no such thing as 100% accurate measurements, just like measuring tapes that I did the video before. Depends who put the numbers here, what machine was used to put those numbers, who made the calculations, which ISO standard they got through, how did they even read the ISO standard to make the measurements. There is a lot of factors that play into accurate measurements, whether it be distance, height, pressure, temperature, humidity, and so on and so forth. So always do your own due diligence, your own research, use your own devices, then you would have a more educated and closer to the truth measurement of temperature or whatever you are measuring. And with that said, I hope that this video was at least of some use to you or somebody you know that got some information on that these devices that are not exactly accurate with each other, and they will never be unless they're made from the same exact company, from the same exact scientist, and measured and calculated the same exact time. Otherwise, you gotta do your own work on them. And with that said, I hope you like this video and you hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!